Hi everyone, it's Zoe here from Living with a Sleeve. I just wanted to jump online again as per usual with my weekly Facebook Live and talk to you today about some of the most frequently asked questions I get in with regards to weight loss surgery and a sleeve in particular. Now, what I'm going to do with the next couple of weeks is break these frequently asked questions down into parts because there are lots of frequently asked questions. So today what I'm going to cover, I'll do 3 questions today. Did I stretch my pouch or stretch my stomach? Or in other words, am I eating too much? The second one is it too late for me? Is my surgery no longer working or I've regained weight, so what do I do? And the third one is, how much protein should I be eating by now? Or other questions that they might cover are sort of like, what should my macros be? They're really common questions that I get asked. Now, if there are questions that you would like me to cover in this little series over the next couple of weeks, please post them in the comment section below and I will get to them as we go through. So I might as well just get straight to it. The first one is, did I stretch my pouch? Or did I stretch my stomach? And this is a really, really common question because I think it's one of the most common fears that people have before they do surgery and then afterwards as well. What I love telling people is it is very unlikely that you have stretched your pouch back to what it was before surgery. That is really difficult to do. You can get some stretch in your pouch over time, so we're talking years post-op, and some research suggests that your stomach can stretch up to about 50% compared to what it was initially after the surgery. However, it very, very, very rarely gets to what it was before the surgery. And I guess the thing to think about here is your stomach is stretchy. It is designed to stretch when you eat and then go back when you are empty. So think of it like a sock, and socks stretch when you put them on your feet, and then you take them off and they look really small. That's really, really how the stomach works, sort of simply. So every time you eat, you're stretching your stomach. And what I find is usually if people are worried that they've stretched their stomach or they feel that surgery isn't working for them, I would sort of really look at the habits around your food and what you're eating during the day, because more likely is that you are sort of eating around your surgery. So you might be grazing, for example. You might be eating foods that are really soft textured. You might be eating too fast, so you can eat a bit more than you really should. Or you might be drinking liquid calories. All of those things are what we call maladaptive eating behaviors, and they basically allow you to get a large amount of calories in whilst not feeling too uncomfortable, which can make you think that you've stretched your sleeve or you can eat a large volume. So I'll go through an example with you. The first one, if you're grazing, you basically eat one mouthful or a little snack, and then it will go through your stomach. Pretty soon after that, you'll be able to eat another snack. It'll go through your stomach. And again and again and again over time, especially if the food that you're eating is not great quality, or it's easily digested, or it is those soft textures, because they break down in our stomach really quickly. They're digested fast, and that means that you're going to be more hungry sooner than you would if you were eating better quality meals and meals that are about the right portion size, about that cup of food. So I hope that's helped. That's the first one. The second one that I wanted to talk about kind of follows on from this, I guess, is it too late for me? And this is a really common question, and I think it's a really common reason why people don't keep going back for their yearly follow-up appointments after a certain point. Either there's 2 reasons for that. One, I tend to find, is that people are doing really well and they don't feel like they need the follow-up. Or things have gone backwards, maybe they've regained some weight and they're feeling embarrassed about going back. Your surgery has been done and it is still there, and it is never too late to try to capitalize on that surgery and get started again if you feel like it's too late for you. What I would recommend is that you book in, no matter how scary it is, to see your surgeon and your dietitian and perhaps even a psychologist at your clinic with your team. You book in with your GP or the bariatric GP attached to your clinic to have all your blood tests done, and kind of think about it as starting again, using the tool that you already have, but before you go down the route of thinking about revisional surgery, you're trying to go back to basics and reset those habits, make sure that everything is okay from a medical point of view, and really have a good, honest chat with your team. They are there to help you. Don't feel like you can't go and talk to them, even if you haven't been in for 10 years or so. And what's been really heartening to me is, especially during COVID, I've had quite a few people who I haven't seen for years and years and years and years contact me and say, oh, I need a bit of help. And I love hearing from those people. Not only is it lovely to see them again, but also lovely because they are reaching out for a hand just to get back on track, remind themselves of all of those things that they would have sort of known and remembered and been practicing in the beginning, but because it's been such a long time, has maybe sort of fallen by the wayside. So the last question that I wanted to answer today in part 1 of the frequently asked questions is, how much protein should I be eating? I'll post a couple of links as well in the comments below to some blogs that I've written on each of these topics. Protein is a really, really, really common question, and I think it's because we tend to focus so much on protein in the initial phases after the surgery, because protein's really important for healing of the wound after the surgery. But long term, you don't actually need to be eating that much protein. So the ASMBS, which is sort of the people that develop all the guidelines for bariatric surgery, including the nutrition guidelines that we have, they recommend that we aim for 60 grams of protein a day. Obviously, if you are a big, tall guy that's 6'5", you're probably going to need more than that. And if you're somebody really small and you've lost quite a lot of weight, then you might need less. You might need maybe 50 grams, but 60 to 80 grams for most of us is a pretty good guide in terms of protein. I don't recommend tracking food every day. I think, we weren't born to write down how much we've eaten every day and track it in an app and compare and worry about the grams of proteins and carbs and, how much water we've drunk. We were designed to just eat what our body needs and kind of get in touch with that again. However, it can be useful to track, just to write down a couple of days, maybe once a month, for example, just to see where your protein values are at. Maybe you've been eating too much protein, which might mean that you're missing out on some vegetables or some other nutrients, or maybe you're not quite eating as much as you thought and you need to figure out how to put a little bit of extra protein into those meals. The best thing that I can recommend is, if at main meals, so breakfast, lunch and dinner, your 3 main meals of the day, you're trying to get half protein in that meal and half veg or maybe grains or fruit, for example, at breakfast time. And then when you have a snack, if you're hungry in between meals, you don't need to snack, but if you are hungry in between meals, you make sure that that snack also has some protein in it. And if you can do that, then chances are that you're probably going to be getting the protein requirements that you need. So measure it once or twice a month just to check, but more importantly is that you're thinking about the balance of your food overall. You're eating a good variety of food. Your portions are about that cup. We're talking longer term after the surgery, and you're managing your appetite, you're getting your fluids in. So you're thinking more holistically about what you're eating rather than just focusing on the number of grams of protein. So I hope that's been helpful. Coming up, I will talk, so next week, for example, I'll do another couple of frequently asked questions. I will talk about why is my weight stalled, how do I combat stress eating, why am I still hungry all the time, are there any diets that work with weight loss surgery, so for example intermittent fasting, what else? Why do I still throw up? That's a really common one. Vitamins after surgery, and any other questions you have. So if you would like to post a question, either send me a direct message if you'd like to, and you want it to be anonymous, or just post in the comment section below and I will get to it in the next couple of weeks. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.